Troye Sivan is an up-and-coming pop star in the making, I believe, and Bloom is his second studio full-length album. He's one of those artists that's been really popular over a course of like 4-5 years, but isn't really an artist that you can consider mainstream or anything like that. He's never had like major top 10 hits, but through online fandom and stuff like that, you know, stans and all that kind of stuff, he's garnered quite a big following. It's really cool how the internet's done that, to be honest. I mean, you can be a massively successful, popular artist, say for instance like a Frank Ocean, but you don't even need to be in the charts. Like, you can still be really successful without that sort of mainstream radio push or whatever. You know, you don't need a big industry backing you with loads of money. You can just be successful and do really well without all of that crap, and the internet has really helped that a lot, I think. And Troye Sivan is kind of like that too. He's a bit of an internet personality. He's had affiliations with artists like Ariana Grande and many other pop stars too that always promote his stuff in a really positive way. And the singles leading to this album were really fucking good. Like, I was really impressed with My. I did a reaction video to it way back when it came out. I actually don't know when it came out. It was months ago at this point. But I really like that song. And then he followed it up with the song Bloom, which is actually even better. Can't say I liked Bloom all that much when it first dropped, but now it's an absolute bop. Seriously, this has got to be the best song on the album. So yeah, I was really expecting a really good, solid pop album because of the singles. I thought this could actually blow out all the other mainstream pop albums that we get that are always filled with trash, always filled with trendy crap and just really annoying production and, you know, just the usual crap. And then Troye Sivan would come through and just like knock them all out the way, despite the fact he's relatively new to the game. And I would say we kind of get that. I think we do get that with this album. I think this is a good album overall. It could have been better, but for what it is, I like this. Now, I can't really say it starts off in the strongest kind of way with 17. Not that the 17's a bad song. I actually think it's a pretty solid song. It's a really nice, chilled out introduction. His singing on this cut is really good. But in terms of setting the tone to the album, it doesn't really do a good job. The one thing about this album, I would say it bounces around a bit too much. You know, we get 17, then we go straight into My. Now, sonically, they're very different. They don't really have similarities in their sound. It's cool that he's showing variety, but I just think in terms of the flow, it's a bit awkward at times. Because once we're done with My, which is a really bombastic, over-the-top pop song, which with so many dance elements to it, it's such a great groovy track. And then we go into the good side, which is this like really folky, acousticy ballad type song. So already 3 tracks in and we've got 3 completely different styles. It's just a bit like, huh? Again, it's cool for variety. It's cool that Troye is showing that he's got many different styles under his belt, but you know, in terms of a flow, I would have liked to have just have one sort of similar sound, like tying them all together or something. Now, The Good Side is a fine song. It's okay, it sounds nice, but it's not really that compelling. Like, I think if you're gonna go for something really slow and like you know, completely slow down the tempo of the album, you're gonna have to give me something really good lyrically. But I don't really know if Troye Sivan is at that point yet where he's writing, you know, incredibly good songs. In fact, he might not even be writing these songs. I know he's probably got some co-writers and stuff like that. So, you know, it just left me a little bit disappointed that we were going in this direction and stuff. Because track 4 is Bloom, which is a great song, as I've mentioned. He can really sell a pop banger so well. Like, seriously, I don't know why these songs haven't like made it onto the charts or anything. I don't really know, but like in a just world, this kind of song would be at the top of the charts because it's just so good. But then track 5 is this really drab piano ballad. Like, holy shit, I just had no interest in this song at all. Again, if you want to do a piano ballad, that's totally cool. I just think you need some colour in it. Like, you need some vibrance, you need some lyrical finesse. But yeah, Postcard just had nothing to me that I cared about. I just don't know why he went in this direction. Like, we had this friggin' gay sex anthem at track number 4, and then you follow it up with this slow, sleepy, dreary ballad. Like, why? Where did the gay sex bangers go? Why? What did you do? Where did they go? I just wanted them, you know? Ugh. I don't want this review to be like, oh, this album should have been this instead of what we got. But in terms of what Troye Sivan's strengths are, he definitely should focus more on the pop songs as opposed to these slower cuts. Because I just don't think he really has it in him to sell these songs in any particular emotional type of way. They just breeze by, and it's just like, could have done without it. But we do go into some really nice peppier tracks after this. Dance to This with Ariana Grande, really nice pop song. And then Plum as well, which I think I like a lot too. I think this track uses like the synths really well. It's quite an indie pop sounding song, but it actually sounds pretty damn good. I think Dance to This works really well as like a deep sexy type track. It's got this like nice beat going on. Ariana and Troye have good chemistry as well. I think it works incredibly well. Again though, it's a different sound compared to what we got with most of the album, but Troye is showing that he's got more in him than just one sort of idea, I guess. What a Heavenly Way to Die is probably the best ballady type track, mostly because it's got a cool sound to it. It's got a cool instrumental, more so than just your average sort of piano playing or like an acoustic guitar. It just has more life to it than I think he showed on other tracks. Lucky Strike is a catchy enough track as well. It probably comes at a weird point in the album because it's sort of like next to these two slower cuts, because Animal is like it's just a very so-so ending to the album, to be honest. I can't really say I have much interest in that one. But Lucky Strike is nice enough as it is. And lyrically, you know what, this album's pretty alright. I usually find with pop albums that you're gonna have like 3 or 4 songs with some terrible lyrics. You know, like that Ariana Grande album, there were a few tracks like Sweetener that just has some of the worst lyrics, and you just think like you're a mainstream artist at the top of your game and you're writing terrible lyrics like this. Whereas on this Bloom album, I can't say anything stands out in a very bad way, which I think is a really strong point, to be honest. This album to me is just oozing with so much potential. Like, I think Troye Sivan could be pretty fantastic in the future if he carries on with these really good pop songs. I just think there are some drab moments that could have been left off, but hey, it's his album. He might want these songs to be a focus of his sort of image, but I would definitely advise him to just focus more on the pop stuff. So yeah, it's a solid album. Gonna go 6.5. Let me know your thoughts on this album. Subscribe to the channel for more reviews. Have a good day. Oh my.